You have an agenda in front of you. At least I'm looking at one. Any additions? Okay. No additions. We have a approval of the agenda. Clint? All in favor? All right. Request for decision. We just got this memo, or most of it, but maybe who's going to speak to it? Rob, will you, or? Rob, are you speaking to this?
I could.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I don't have the RFP and it shows up there. Well, which is fine. I don't need the RFD. It's all good. There we go. Hello. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So the reason for the meeting today is to go over the resolution that we want to bring forward to the Ag Service Board Council or Ag Service Board Conference next week in Edmonton. In recent weeks, there's been a bunch of changes forecasted for CFIA traceability regulations, and there's been a ton of backlash and conversation about the details and expectations within the new regulations and the impacts that it'll have on small producers, small auction yards, and community groups in general. And the basic premise that these new rules and regulations put undue burden and stress on small producers and farmers in general across the province. So what we've done is formulated a resolution on behalf of Stettler County to address those issues and bring that forward. So I guess what we're looking for is the group to basically review the resolution and see if it's something that they agree with in terms of our therefore be it resolved statements. If you'd like, I could read them out, or if you guys want to read them, how you want to do that.
Yeah, no, go ahead and read them if they're not too lengthy here. I don't know if we need all the whereas, but.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Therefore be it resolved that the Alberta Agricultural Service Board's request the Government of Canada, specifically the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and the Government of Alberta, suspend the implementation of additional mandatory livestock traceability regulations under Part, what would that be? Part 15 for a minimum of 3 years until a comprehensive risk assessment is completed that fully evaluates the impacts on small scale and mixed farming operations, as well as the broader downstream effects on rural communities. Further be it resolved that the Alberta Agricultural Service Board's request, the Government of Canada, specifically the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and the Government of Alberta, maintain the pause on the proposed Part 15 amendment until regionally representative consultation are completed and producer feedback is incorporated into any revised regulatory framework.
Thank you, Rob. Go ahead, Harry.
Well, I was doing some research on this thing, and it looked like there was a period about 2 years ago where they were working in conjunction with some of the cattle production groups like Canadian Cattle Association and Alberta Beef. So I'm just kind of wondering what was happening, or did it just sort of spring out of all of a sudden, oh, it's already this far advanced, because all they've got to do is publish the regulations right now, at least what I was reading. So I'm just sort of wondering if it's only come up now because it's sort of urgent.
So, yeah, there was a consultation period 2 years ago. It sounded like the how many people knew about it, I guess, is in question. As far as most people in the industry for the first time ever heard about this was a month ago in December. And then another group of them heard about it just in the past couple of weeks. So yeah, I think there technically was a consultation period, but it was, you know, very not widespread. And I don't know the reason for that, but you know, it did, what did it get? I think it got 778 submissions across all of Canada in the consultation period, which is certainly not very many. And I'm not sure why that was, but the majority of producers only have found out about it extremely recently.
Harry, does that address your inquiry?
Yeah, it's sort of like there's so much stuff coming at people nowadays that sometimes it's a little hard to filter out those things that are important with just urgent.
All right, Board Member Justin?
I'm not sure if I'm reading between the lines too much, but unless something drastically changes effective July 1st, Alberta beef producers will no longer be a part of the Canadian Cattle Association that was one of the consulting groups for this amendment, I guess. But I don't want to belittle the fact that some of our hardest hit groups by this change will be our local nonprofits, our ag societies, our 4-H clubs, where there is a tremendous amount of commingling of animals. I mean, some small producers will have somewhat limited effect. Some will have substantial, but when you get to auction marts, 4-H, ag societies, the recreational options, whether it be roping, team penning, a lot of these things that are kind of ubiquitous with the rural county lifestyle, they will be heavily affected. Even the vet clinics and getting animals treated, this will be one more barrier there, which is somewhat counterintuitive when we have a huge vet shortage for heavy animals. So there is a lot of unintended consequences that I see with this. So for that reason, I am in favor of moving forward with the resolution. I do like that it's paired with the letter as well. I do think that Minister Sigurdsson is reachable and reasonable to deal with, but sometimes we have to, when we get down to that level of detail, sometimes we have to assist with bringing them and arming them with the information that they need.
Board Member Clark?
Also tomorrow and the next day out, tomorrow I'll be at the RMA board meeting. It's in Lethbridge, and then District 1 meeting will be at on Friday. I'm sure this will be a hot topic of conversation there too, because there is a lot of cattle producers in that area. So from the RMA perspective, I'll bring back what is happening there. I know this is through ASB, but we have to work together on these things too. So
Board Member Stevens?
One other point I'd like to make is I do fear that this is a solution in search of a problem to a certain degree. There's references to trade and doing everything we possibly can to ensure safety so that it would not inhibit international trade for our ag products. In my limited experience and knowledge, I found that trade tends to be far more political than data based. And I will go on a very sturdy limb and say one of the largest beef exporters currently is Brazil. And I would put up a regulatory framework and traceability against theirs any day. As it stands now, I believe that we are night and day better. So when we get into any potential hypothetical trade benefits of this framework, I would very much like to see some evidence to suggest that. I mean, we have tariffs or bans on ag products to this day that still extend from BSE. I mean, as an elk producer, you can't sell elk velvet because of BSE. And how long ago was that? None of that is science-based, and this won't change that in one iota.
Any other discussion? Board Member Nielsen?
There we go. Yeah, I just want to add what Councillor Stevens has said. You know, I think this is going to have a very large impact on auction marts and the ability for them to keep going when we talk about commingling of animals. And yeah, you know, especially like the rodeo people as well. But you know, when you start losing auction marts out of a community, you start losing small producers out of a community, that's going to put a lot of pressure on tax base and funding. And I think this has far more reaching consequences than just talking about border openings or not. And I don't think it was considered ever.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We have a motion on the floor. It was made by Justin. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'll back up a bit here. Board Member Brooks?
Yeah, just one other thing. I was looking at our exports, and 75% of our exports out of Canada go to the US. Another 9.1 go to Japan. I think the claim of trade is a bit bogus. It's mostly got to do with food security, food safety, and that's probably in the wheelhouse of whatever CFIA or federal government seems to be set on that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's where it seems to be coming from.
I certainly agree. Any other discussion? All right, we have a motion that Board Member Stevens made. Do we need a seconder here? We don't, okay. So I'll call the question then. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
No, he was in favor. He just kept his hand raised longer so we could see it.
Okay.
He was very kind to us.
Was there any other business for ASB?
That's basically all we
Okay.
needed to get this through. So
All right, I will ask for adjournment.
Oh.
Sorry.
or I guess we should probably pick who we're gonna assign to move it at the ASB, I guess, because we are adding this. Sorry.
So as I understand, we need to decide who will move this at ASB.
Yeah.
Is that the question in front of us? Um,
Well, open it up to the floor. Is there anyone with a burning desire to move this?
Yeah, I have a very burning desire for this, so I would it'd be my pleasure to move this.
Then I will make that into a motion. I'll move that Board Member Nielsen present the resolution at the upcoming convention.
discussion?
There is a time limit on, like, just to give you what is it? Is it 5 minutes or 2 minutes? 5 minutes? Okay. Just so that's when you're presenting, that's what you've got. And then do we have to have a seconder up there?
A different municipality
Yeah.
need to second. So when we go to conference, we'll have to find someone to second.
After
Rob?
the conversations I've had with a number of folks in the piece, we have definitely seconders.
Which all I'm thinking is so as long as we've got the 5 minutes, or both have an opportunity to talk, but it's a total of 5 minutes. So just if they want an input also too, that's what you've got. So that's just the time limits you got to be in. So
Sorry, clarification there, Farah? We have one? Go ahead.
Right now, the rules are actually the mover gets 5 minutes, the seconder gets 2 minutes.
7 minutes total?
Yeah,
Oh,
for now.
Okay, okay.
All right,
Voted
so
whether to do that.
do I understand correctly, Rob, that you will coordinate that and work with Lance to ensure that we adhere to the time limits?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so where are we at? We had motion. We need to vote on that. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Lance. Was there anything else for today?
I don't, do we have to vote on the letter? I don't think.
There's a letter in front of us for me to sign. I'll review it. We don't need to? Okay. All right, I'll have a look at this and. All right. Anything else? All right, I'll call for adjournment. Oh. Motion?
It's gone.
Okay. Thank you. Board Member Clark made the motion to adjourn. Thank you. All in favor?